there. Today I would like to chat with you about lamps that you would choose for your living room. So, choosing much of the furniture and accessories that you choose to make sure that they're feng shui correct for your home, it's an art. It's not just a matter of what you like or what you can afford or what's in fashion. It's more about finding that exact item that is going to achieve the best results for you in your home. One of the first things that you have to think about when you are looking for a lamp for your living room is what is the function? What is the purpose? What do you need that light for? So it's a mistake for somebody to choose a lamp for their living room or their family room just because they went to the store. They're like, oh my gosh, that is so pretty. You have to look at how, for example, how the light comes out of the lamp, right? And so some lamps push the light up, other lamps push the light down, and other lamps send out the light in 360 degrees around it. And so you have to think about what you're going to use that lamp for. Is that lamp going to be created just to create a mood? Or is that lamp going to be used for reading? Or do you need a lamp if you have a, if your living space is more of a cozy family room than a formal living room? Maybe you are going to do projects or crafts in that room. Maybe you're going to be knitting. Maybe you're going to be doing embroidery. Maybe you'll be putting puzzles together. So, what are you going to use your lamps for? That is a very important criteria before you choose a lamp. Then you have to look at the style, right? If your living spaces are more of a formal living room, then you're going to need something that looks more elegant and not something that is really funky, right? Also, the lamps in a formal living room, they kind of have to match. The style has to be compatible with the style of your rug, with the style of your furniture, with the style of any adornments that you have there. And you're going to go with more classic kinds of lamps. For example, the cone type of lamp that's so classic, right? Or the dome type of lamp, like a lot of Tiffany lamps have the dome. And so you have to go with the style of the space. Now, if your living space is designed more like a cozy family room, then you can get a little bit more crazy with your choice of lamps. Then you can choose something that's different, something that's really original, that has a unique shape. And if you're choosing to turn your living space into more of a cozy family room, all your lamps don't necessarily have to match. And so it's super important that you think first about what your final objective is with the look of your living space. Is it going to be a formal living room or is it going to be more of a cozy family room? Once you make that decision, all the other choices become a little bit easier. And so the function of the lamp, number one, right? The function of the lamp is super important. And then you have to look at the style of the lamp and how the lamp directs light for what you're going to use it. So some lamps, especially in a living room, the purpose of the lamp may be just to create a certain mood, to create a certain lighting, but not if you're not going to do something productive in that room, or even just reading, learning something, then you don't have to think too much about how much light the lamp is going to produce, right? And so when you choose your lamp, you have to take into consideration where it is. Like usually there's going to be a lamp, a chair next to your lamp. What are you going to use that chair for? Or what are you going to use that sofa for? What kinds of activities are going to happen there? And what kind of light do you need and want for that purpose? Then comes stability. Stability is a huge factor when choosing a lamp. So basically, the taller your lamp is and the smaller the base is, the more unstable the lamp is going to be. The shorter your lamp is and the wider the base is, then the more stable your lamp is going to be. If your lamp is going to be in a place where there's going to be quite a bit of traffic, that people are going to walk by it a lot, then you need to choose a lamp that is completely smooth, preferably rounded. It can have any shape, the lamp, but it has to be smooth and rounded so you couldn't accidentally, for example, catch the edge of a sweater on the lamp and knock it down. And it has to be short and stable. in a corner where there's not a lot of traffic, a corner where the only time you would touch the lamp would be just to go and turn it on. Then you can have a different type of lamp. You can have a lamp that's like more sophisticated, that's taller, that has a smaller base, because that lamp is not going to be at risk that you could knock it down any moment, right? And so you have to think about these things. If your lamp is fragile, well, let's talk about the fragility of lamps, because this ties intrinsically with how you manage your household. So, for example, if I go on a consultation and I see that a person has put a very fragile, very expensive lamp in a place where it could easily get knocked down if somebody was walking by distracted, or if a child could break it, or a pet could break it, I'm going to look for a tendency in the people of the household to get hurt. I would say this person could be a person who gets resentful easily, because if you are putting something fragile where it could be broken, you are asking for trouble. So don't ask for trouble. If your lamp is going to be in the path, then you need to find something that is not too fragile and something that is stable. But you can put something that is more fragile and that is not as stable if your lamp is located in a spot where there's not going to be a lot of traffic right near it, right? And so you have to choose your lamp depending, again, on how you're going to use the space, what style your living space has, whether it's a formal or a more cozy style. And you also have to choose the materials and the shape depending on how stable this is going to be. That is super important. Now, your lamps need to be placed not just where you're going to need them, but also where they're going to be safe, and also where they're going to become a contribution to your space. I have met too many people that think of a lamp in terms of just function. So I need a lamp to give me so much light, and this is that lamp, and I'm going to put it here. But many times they'll choose a lamp that totally clashes with the rest of their decor, or a lamp that's not itself very pretty. It could be a very practical lamp, but that just doesn't look good in their space. So you have to consider that. It's if it was a hobby room, then your choice of a lamp may just be in terms of function, what this lamp is going to do for you. But if it's a living room or family room, you also need to consider how this lamp is going to look among all the other things. Now, the classic, so there are two more classic shapes for lamps, are the cone and the dome, right? But you can also get a lamp that the shade is like a cylinder, or it's like a cube, and there's a lot of choices there. When it comes to lights, you probably, in today's age, I think everybody wants to have lights that are energy efficient, right? But choosing fluorescent bulbs is a really huge mistake, because the output of light of a fluorescent bulb is really bad. It's hard on your eyes, and it flickers in a way that it can even trigger some conditions, like some people who have convulsions, this could be triggered by the flickering of fluorescent lights. And fluorescent lights are really not even that environmentally friendly, because they have mercury inside of them. So when a fluorescent light breaks, it's going to release mercury into the atmosphere. And that can happen in your house if it breaks in your house, or it can happen in the landfill if you send them to the landfill. So say no to fluorescent lights. Those shouldn't even be used for businesses. Incandescent lights are okay, but of course they're not energy efficient. LED lights are a good option, provided that they have a yellow cast. So if you can find LED lights that are yellow, those are okay. But LED lights that are blue, that is really, really bad for your eyes. And even LED lights that are marked like solar light or natural light, they actually have a blue cast, and they're bad for your eyes. And so LED lights are okay as long as they have a yellow cast. And so that would be a good choice for light bulbs to put inside your lamp. You also, the reason for a shade, the reason the lamp has a shade is because you want to control how much light gets through the shade and how much light gets filtered. So that's another thing that you have to consider when you're choosing a lamp. And the height is important. If you're choosing a table lamp, the height is important depending on what you want to do. So I have been at homes where somebody bought a lamp and it was for reading, but the lamp was so short that they didn't get enough light on their book when they were holding their book. And in other cases, the lamp was so tall that it didn't just illuminate their book, but it just threw like a glare at their eyes. And so you have to think about all these things. Remember the style. If your living space is more of a formal family living room, then the style needs to be more classic, more elegant. But if your living space is more of a cozy family room, then it doesn't have to be that stylish. It can be more interesting. However, I would discourage you from doing things that are like too out there, too crazy. For example, a lamp with the shape of a pineapple may be good as a joke, or a lamp with a hula lady dancing. Those kinds of lamps, they usually don't age well in the sense that you're going to get tired of that. Even if a lamp is like really unique and quirky, you may love it in the beginning, but over time, you might not enjoy it as much. There's a message. I was literally thinking about what lamps to choose from my living room. That's awesome, Julie. And so this is perfect synchronicity for you, right? And so, as I was saying, beware of lamps that are too rare, too unique, too peculiar, because no matter how much you love them, you're probably going to get tired of them. And I'm going to say this again and again and again whenever I make these videos. Before you buy something, think about how you are going to clean that. So I remember a home that I visited where they have this lamp that was made of crystal and was really, really intricate. And it was really hard to dust. It has so many pieces, and you had to go in there like with a little duster, and then the pieces of the duster would get stuck on the metal wire that was holding the crystal together. And so always think about that. How am I going to clean it? How easy is it going to be to clean, right? And make sure to consult your family members. A mistake that a lot of women make, because it's mostly women making the choices about what to buy for the home, is that they make the choice by themselves. So you are the woman of the house, and you decide your living room needs a lamp, and you go to the store, you go online, you choose it, you buy it. And you don't ask for the opinion of the family members. And so it works much better to actually ask for the opinion of your spouse, to ask for the opinion of your children. And of course, this means that you're not always going to get what you love. Sometimes you're going to have to compromise, right? But asking for the opinion of the people who live with will result in a much happier household. People, you may not think about this. For example, your teenage kids, you may not think that they want you to count their opinion to buy a lamp for your family room, but that's important to them, and that shows respect for them. That shows that you appreciate them and that you appreciate their thoughts and their opinions. So it's a really good thing to make other family members participate in these choices. So, summarizing, we're talking about first you need to decide if your living space is more of a formal living room or if it's more of a cozy family room. You need to decide if it's the function. What do you need this lamp to do for you? You need to make sure that the lamp is the right degree of fragility and stability for where you want to put it. Don't put things that are fragile and very expensive in places where they can get easily hurt. And then you have to make sure that the design that you choose blends with your other choices in your living spaces, and also that it contributes to your living spaces. So nothing too crazy, because you're going to get tired of that really easily. Now, are there exceptions to this rule? Yes, there are. But it's so sometimes, like you may go to the store and find a lamp that is really different or quirky, um, and that you absolutely love. So, and in that case, it might be okay to get it. But then again, you might get tired of it quickly, and you may need to replace it soon after. Usually, you have to. So let me make an observation here. You can be tacky and have good feng shui. And I'd rather you be tacky and have good feng shui than because you are trying to be too elegant, you have bad feng shui. But then let me ask you this. Do you really want to be tacky? Do you want the people that come to your home to say, oh, that's tacky? You know? And I bet for most people that answer would be no. And so the purpose of Feng Shui for Us and the 9 Steps to Feng Shui system is for you to end up with a dream home, which is a home where you can be happy with the people you love. It's a home that you love and that you are proud to show. That is important. You have to be proud to show it. If you feel embarrassed, if you feel self-conscious about your choices, you're going to be less likely to invite people over. And so think about that, think about that. And yes, you can be a little edgy sometimes, but don't do things that you yourself think are tacky, because then you're going to end up with results that you don't absolutely love. It is super important also to make sure the colors of your lamp blend. And there's three colors to consider in your lamp. One is the color of the base of your lamp. The other one is the color of the shade of your lamp when the lamp is off. And then there's the color of the shade when the lights are on. So you have to look at those colors and make sure those colors blend with the rest of your living spaces. Materials for your lights, for your living room or family room lights. The most classical will probably be ceramic. It could also be glass. It could be metal. I discourage you from using plastics. In general, in Feng Shui, you want to shy away from plastics. However, there are some plastic lamps that are actually quite cute. So there's some exceptions to that rule. The thing you don't want to be plastic is never get a lamp where the shade is plastic. Don't do that. And so the shade can be any kind of fabric, right? It can be there's some really beautiful shades with silk. There's some beautiful shades with linen, and more coarse patterned fabrics. Those look really nice. Your shade can be metal. Your shade can be glass. Just shy away from plastic. And again, the fragility of your lamp is going to be a factor for where you put that lamp. If the lamp is too fragile, it needs to be protected. And remember to consult the other people who live with you so that you all can agree on what is going to be beautiful. Now, as a general rule, look for, like if you're looking for a lamp online, go and look at beautiful living rooms and beautiful family rooms. So don't look for the lamp, look for beautiful spaces, and then see what kinds of lamps they're using in those spaces. And that's going to give you a better idea of how the lamp you choose would fit into the kind of decor that you already love. This week in the Feng Shui Dream Home Creation Lab, we are talking about lamps, not just table lamps, but all kinds of lamps that you would have in the living room, which could be floor lamps. There are floor lamps that the light is on the floor lamps that the light is high up, end table lamps, buffet table lamps, sofa table lamps, and other kinds of lights and lamps you may have in the living room. You could even have lights that are fixed to the walls. And we are connecting these lights and lamps. All lamps come with cables, right? So lamps are connected symbolically with being enlightened, with seeking the light, and with even with ascension, like the spiritual ascension, and seeking the light, seeking knowledge, seeking goodness. And cables, they're related to entanglement, your wires, your mind being crossed, unclear thinking. So it's super important to also take care of cables and make sure your cables are organized and not on the floor. And if you want to get woo-woo, there's also an association, with cables are also cords. And so in the spiritual world, you're going to hear people talking about how cords can connect you with other people and how those cords can be unhealthy. So the cables also represent unhealthy ways to relate to others. So that's what we're talking about in the Feng Shui Dream Home Creation Lab for the past few weeks. And the next few weeks, it's all about living spaces, living rooms, family room, grace room, dance, media rooms, and all that. And so let me know if you want more information about that. I'm going to also include a link if you want to explore or join the Feng Shui Dream Home Creation Lab, which is a collection. We have a secret Facebook group, and in that group, we share lessons and we do critiques and we share photos and we give advice to everybody so that every room in the home can become your dream home room for that home. So we did the foyer, that we're doing living spaces. Next, when we're done with living spaces, we're going to do dining rooms, then we're going to do kitchens, and so forth. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope this has helped you choose the right lamps, especially table lamps, for your home. And continue working every day, taking little steps to turn your home into a dream home. Bye-bye.